Something unusual is happening in the global defense industry, and almost nobody is talking about it. While American tariff threats dominate headlines, two of Europe's most powerful economies just made moves that could reshape North American manufacturing for decades. Germany and Sweden didn't arrive in Ottawa with warnings or ultimatums. They came with contracts, procurement deals, and long-term industrial partnerships worth billions. The timing wasn't coincidental. When the United States floated steep tariffs on Canadian goods, it sent a signal that rippled through boardrooms across Europe. That signal wasn't just about trade policy or diplomatic pressure, it was about reliability. And in global defense, procurement, reliability isn't a nice-to-have feature, it's the entire foundation. Here's what most coverage misses. Defense contracts aren't simple purchases. When Germany selects a Canadian naval combat system over American alternatives, they're not just buying technology, they're entering a relationship that spans 30 to 40 years. Training pipelines, software updates, maintenance agreements, and strategic alignment all flow from that single decision. Once a Navy commits to a combat system, changing course becomes prohibitively expensive. This is institutional marriage, not a casual transaction. Sweden's approach follows the same logic. Their recent visit to Ottawa brought defense companies and industrial frameworks designed for co-production on Canadian soil. These aren't symbolic gestures. They represent manufacturing capacity, engineering jobs, and supply chain ecosystems that take decades to build and rarely relocate once established. The economics driving this shift are straightforward. Capital flows toward stability. When the largest economy in the world treats market access as a political bargaining chip rather than a contractual certainty, it creates risk. Defense manufacturers and procurement officials watching from Europe see volatility, and volatility destroys long-term planning. Building a factory or signing a 20-year contract requires confidence that the rules won't change midway through. American tariff threats introduced exactly that uncertainty. Canada suddenly looked different to European planners. Not because Canada became more technologically advanced overnight, but because it became the stable alternative in an increasingly unpredictable network. Procurement officials in Berlin and Stockholm made a calculation. They asked which partner would honor commitments regardless of political winds, and they chose accordingly. This matters enormously for North American workers in aerospace, shipbuilding, and advanced manufacturing. These industries don't move quickly, but once capital commits and training begins, they rarely reverse course. Tooling, skills, and supplier networks cluster around procurement decisions. Germany's naval system, choice, and Sweden's defense partnerships create job pipelines that last generations, not election cycles. The irony is sharp. Tariff threats designed to pressure Canada into compliance actually increased Canada's attractiveness to everyone else. By introducing trade instability into North American markets, Washington inadvertently raised the relative value of Canadian reliability. European governments noticed, and they're hedging their strategic bets accordingly. This isn't about personalities or political theater. It's about how global capital actually behaves when faced with uncertainty. Defense spending sits at the intersection of public money, private profit, and geopolitical trust. When trust erodes between traditional allies, governments quietly diversify their dependencies. They don't announce it dramatically. They just sign contracts elsewhere. The consequences extend far beyond defense. If Europe increasingly views Canada as a stable hub for transatlantic production, that reshapes dynamics in energy, critical minerals, data infrastructure, and research collaboration. Smaller countries watching this shift will draw their own conclusions about which partnerships offer long-term security versus short-term leverage. For workers on both sides of the border, these structural changes matter more than any single tariff announcement. American manufacturing faces diversification away from its traditional supply chains, not through dramatic collapse but through gradual substitution. Canadian workers see potential opportunities, but only if industrial policy translates investment into actual jobs with strong labor standards and training guarantees. The fundamental lesson is this. In modern capitalism, power doesn't come purely from size. It comes from being embedded in systems others trust and rely upon. Once that trust erodes, no amount of economic pressure easily restores it. Germany and Sweden just demonstrated what happens when stability becomes the premium commodity. They voted with procurement dollars, and they chose predictability over volatility. That choice will echo through defense industries and manufacturing communities for decades.